David. Welcome to the second of 4 sessions of a Monsterhearts 2 actual play for the Gauntlet. And what we're playing here is set in a noir LA 1940s. I'm running a series of mostly standalone but slightly interlinked games in a sort of a shared 1940s world of urban supernatural. We are playing under normal Gauntlet safety rules and policies. It means we have an open door policy. One of the players has exercised that so far this evening. Isn't very well. We're playing with the X card, but we will also shout out if we want to pause or go over anything, especially if there's any issues with moves this evening, folks. I also really like O-carding into the chat window. If people are doing awesome things, do that. I was running a Hearts of Willing game on Sunday, and because of O-carding, 2 characters kissed. So we definitely want to see kissing in Monster Hearts. So let's O-card that as we're going through. Okay. So I'm going to get everybody to introduce themselves. I'm going to go in my character. In fact, I'm going to go more reverse character keep order this evening, and I'm going to start with Henry Hacksaw Sims.
All right, Henry Hacksaw Sims, originally Sipowicz, but of course that's not a name you're going to walk around with Hollywood. Hollywood in the 40s having, that you don't want that on the marquee. So he's changed his name to Sims, but Hacksaw is a stuntman. He is nigh indestructible and relatively fearless when it comes to putting his body at risk in order to make the stars that he works for look good and look, and create exciting and dangerous action sequences and things like that for the movies that he has been in. So I am actually playing the Ghoul playbook. So in Monsterhearts terms, that means I can be used and abused and even killed, and will eventually come back from that. So we've got a lot of opportunity for some potentially possibly masochistic behavior on Henry's part, but certainly a whole lot of risky daredevil behavior that we have already seen in the first session, and I'm looking forward to getting into a whole lot more of on the second session. So
Awesome.
That's Hacksaw.
Thank you, Jim. We're going to go to Rudy Forsyth next.
Hello, I am Ferret, also known as Sawyer. I'll answer to either. I use he, him pronouns, but I'm gender apathetic and will answer to any of them as well. I am playing Rudy Forsyth, the vampire, the wonderful young drug-running ingenue of Rose. He's learning how to be a vampire as he is very new to this. He was turned sometime this year, I guess, and after he went down the wrong alley after buying some drugs. He has not been in the movies outside of being an extra, but most people find it's a lot easier to get their stars hooked on something when a cute young lad delivers the drugs versus a rough and tumble gruff mafia man. So he is quite commonly seen at parties and on the lot.
And
sorry. No, I just managed to mute myself. So no, go for it, David.
I'm David. Use he, him pronouns. And this evening I am playing Adam Arber. Adam is a young movie star. A former child star, is now just starting the transition into taking on adult roles. He is has been brought up in the Hollywood machine, part of a studio where his contract's been held for since he was a child now by the producer Anthony Greenstock. He is controlled quite tightly by the studio. And is just sort of starting to try and forge a personality for himself. In Monsterhearts terms, I am playing the Hollow playbook. So Adam is very much about trying to play up to what people expect of him, imprinting on people, and all that sort of fun, peer pressure related and stuff. So yeah, looking forward to having some fun with that tonight.
And that's going to work so well when the other two characters are basically an adrenaline junkie and a pusher. So
absolutely. All right, so we are going to go into the first scene, and I'd like to bring Adam into the first scene. Where do we find Adam, and how long has passed since the party, Adam?
That's a good question. Sorry, just to clarify, are we still in the context of the party, or is this after the party has finished?
The party, we faded out on the party in a fade to black as there were photographers outside, if you remember. So I'm giving you a chance to define how long the time jump
Sure
is.
thing.
It the following day, week,
Sure thing.
month?
Cool.
However you'd like to tell me.
Yeah, I think maybe it's the next morning, and I think that there have been some, or the next day probably, but might be more getting close to afternoon. But there has been some scandal has hit the tabloids about the decadent goings on at the party. I think Adam's name has been mentioned in the article, or well, probably not his name, but a nod that people in the know will know is him. Is probably in the article, though not actually linking him to any particular vice. Mostly because he probably spent most of the party just standing around kind of awkwardly.
Okay.
So yes, and I think as a result of that, sorry, I forgot where I was actually going with that. And I think he has been called into Anthony Greenstock's office for a talking to.
Lovely. Okay, so that's quite established that. So yes, yeah, you've had a possibly been rudely awakened. Where did you wake up this morning?
I think back in his rooms, he has a he probably just actually has like a kind of a little bungalow type thing on the actually on the studio lot.
Sure. Okay, that's fine. So it's a knock on the door on one of the pages from the film studio, and he keeps knocking until you wake up.
Yep, I will get up and pull on a dressing gown to answer the door in. Morning, what can I... I don't think I have any appointments today, do I?
Mr. Greenstock's asked to see you, sir. It seems like it's quite an urgent. He says, get that damn kid dressed and over here toot sweet, was what he said, but with more swearing.
Well, tell him I'll be on my way. I'm just going to get dressed. I'll be there in 10.
Okay. As you shut the door, about 10 seconds later, the telephone rings.
Yeah, I'll probably kind of answer it whilst like putting on some trousers. Hello?
Is this Mr. Arbor?
This is Mr. Arbor, yes. Who's speaking?
My name is Ruby Chance. I got offered some photos, or told us some photos last night, Mr. Arbor. I know you're not a client of mine, but I did think maybe I'd do you a favor. Perhaps, Mr. Arbor, we could meet for lunch, or a late lunch.
I suppose, Miss Chance, if you would like to meet, I've got an appointment now, but I can be. I don't imagine it will take long.
Okay. Let's leave it that there a minute and cut a scene, and let's bring Rudy into play. Where did Rudy spend his night?
Oh, as if it was okay with Billy.
Billy's okay with that. He's happy to hang out. He's got he likes to show you his drawings
Aw.
and his paintings. He's very talented artistically, but there's just something slightly off kilter about the way the eyes always are in the paintings. How does that make you feel?
I think these feel like make me feel a bit paranoid. It's like no matter where you place these pictures, they're watching you.
So, what did you do with Billy last night?
Oh, I think I tried to pry out Rose's job for him, since I believe that she wanted him to see to our hacksaw. And Rudy's not quite sure that Billy should handle this alone, seeing as how Hacksaw treats his own life. Rudy's not sure how he treats someone else's life.
So, how are you going to keep? How are you going to? Billy hasn't mentioned Hacksaw since you calmed him down and you had your piece. He's been more interested in. He wants to draw you.
I think I'll do the Monsterhearts thing of spending a string. I'll let him draw me as long as he calls me when he goes to deal with Hacksaw or anyone who sounds like a big name for Rose. Because I may be scrawny, but I can handle myself.
Okay. You get what you wish for.
Sweet. And I get a pretty picture out of it.
Yeah. But the same coldness is in your eyes when he sketches it out, which is with pencil and charcoal. And you're ice and cold and lifeless, as if you can't quite capture your inner spark or so. It's too precise.
Billy, do you ever think about artistic license, adding a bit more flair to it? I mean, I look pretty and everything, but I look like I'd steal your soul.
Don't you like it?
Oh, it's beautiful. I mean, everything here is beautiful.
What do you mean? Is there something that I did wrong?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that? I was cutting
Yeah,
out.
what's wrong with it? What did I do wrong?
It's my eyes. Do I really look all that hungry? I'm sorry, did I cut out again?
No. He's just sort of pondering, and he looks. He says, I don't understand." Getting obviously agitated. What did I do wrong?
It's okay. I mean, maybe it's me. Maybe I'm not the best model.
You're perfect. And he lashes out and punches the mirror on the nightstand, cracking it with his fist. He goes, "You're perfect."
Billy, it's okay. Calm down a moment and look. Maybe if we took some classes together. I mean, I'm not good at art yet. I could study with you and see if we could improve technique.
So I've got a question to you there. Did he freak you out when the violence went off? Are you trying to shut him down? Because he's not calming.
Then if he's not calming down, I guess I will have to try and shut him down. Just go up to him, grab his hands, and just like look in his eyes. Sit down. This is not okay.
Okay.
So yay, cold as ice will trigger if this goes well. It went barely okay. I got a 7.
So you get to choose one from the line below.
I get to choose 2 because I have cold as ice.
You got a vampire move.
I will gain a string back on Billy. And take +1 forward. I don't want to put a condition on this poor impressionable boy. But he does get to put a condition on me.
What's the word I'm looking for? You little art critic, you. How is he going to take this? He thinks you're mean.
Oh no, and I am.
So, after you drove off into the sunset or the moonrise with Eliza Freeman last night, Hacksaw, where did you end up?
I think we ended up at an all-night diner. 3:00 in the morning, just going through coffee and cigarettes. Just like trying to one up each other with the most sordid stories about stars that we had met, right? Because I'm on set seeing people, I know when they have to bring in a starlet to fluff somebody before they can even come on stage, or get them like they're nodding off from their from the smack that they've taken, and they've got to shoot them full of speed so that they can actually get on set and stuff. And so and I think we're just kind of just telling stories to each other, until it's oh my God, the sun is coming up, and okay, she's got to go develop those pictures, and I actually need to whatever, get in a 3-hour nap before I got to be on the set or something like that.
Okay. It's a good evening. You're in a part of town where no one is casting you a glance. The coffee keeps coming. And before she leaves, she sort of pushes her card across and says, "Why don't you give me a call sometime? It's been good working with you."
Sure. Can I only call you if there's a party for us to crash, or some other time too?
You can call me if you want to start a party of our own, maybe.
Then I nod and I take the card and I tuck it away in my, the lapel of my jacket, and walk her out to her car, and then I'll go to my car, and I will go back to so let me propose something, perhaps. So like I said, kind of I sort of base my character like Brad Pitt's on Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
I haven't seen that movie, unfortunately.
So David, if Adam has a big house that he kind of rambles around in alone, if I could live in a little bungalow out the back and do errands for you and whatever, get your groceries or whatever, and kind of do a little bit of gopher stuff for you, that might give us a little more connection. Does that sound reasonable?
That sounds cool. Yeah, I like that.
Okay. So yeah, so whatever, probably around the time Adam is getting ready to go out, I'm pulling into the driveway, and I go down the little side road to the double wide garage that I park my car in, but that also has the lawnmower and stuff like that, and the grass seeder and whatever in it. Like all the in the tools, garden tools and everything. And I'll go just crash in my and I think it's just like a little whatever, like a little like a one room bungalow that's kind of out in the back next to the pool or something like that. Yeah.
So as you're coming in, I imagine, yes, you can confront or can see Adam just starting to leave as you see Hacksaw pulling into the drive.
Yeah, so I think, Adam's coming out of the house. He's wearing probably just like a pair of slacks and a polo shirt with kind of a pastel-coloured jumper tied over his shoulders and the sunglasses on. He's sort of heading out of the house. And I think as Henry pulls in, he'll sort of wave and say, "Oh, morning, Hacksaw. I'm sorry I didn't catch up with you at that thing last night."
No worries, Mr. Arbor. That was I am perceptive enough to know when I'm not welcome. Hopefully it was entertaining.
Oh, it was real swell. Thank you, Hacksaw.
You got that look like you're going into the lion's den there, Mr. Arbor.
Mr. Greenstocks called me in for a talk.
Yeah, well, don't you let his bark worsen his bite. He'll go ahead and let him bark at you, but don't show any fear. You show fear, that's when they know they got you.
Thanks, Hacksaw. I'll bear that in mind. All
right. Well, I'm gonna. I was up all night, so I'm gonna catch a quick nap before I got to get to the set here. But like I said, look at me. Look at me. Say it to me. No fear.
No fear.
No, say it like you mean it. Come on. Show me your teeth. No fear.
No fear.
Okay, well, that'll do. All right. And then I kind of and I turn and go walk into the bungalow.
Cool.
So let's pick up with Adam arriving at Mr. Greenstock's office. His secretary offers you a coffee.
I'll accept.
She pours you a coffee and waits. You don't normally have to wait in Mr. Greenstock's office. You normally get to go straight in, but he's keeping you waiting. What's going through Adam's head?
I think he's. I wouldn't say he's worried as such. This is well. I mean, he wasn't expecting to be called in to see him, but he also doesn't have any particular reason to worry. He does want to sort of carry on their conversation from the other evening, so he's maybe a bit preoccupied with that. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. About 10 minutes pass before the door opens and thick-stocked Italian gentleman steps out, puts on his fedora hat. If Hacksaw had come with you, he'd have been able to identify him as Adam the Alibi Silverman. But on the way out, he shows you teeth which are shark-like and is wanders away. The secretary stands and says, "Mr. Greenstock will see you now."
Thank you, Millicent. And he'll walk into the office.
She's standing against looking out of the window. The sun has reached that point where it casts the blinds, strips of the blind, and they sort of strike across the room like bars. There is a glass of scotch on the table and a cigar in his hand. He says, "Why don't you sit down, Adam?"
Of course, Mr. Greenstock. And yeah, he'll take a seat.
Doesn't turn, just takes a puff of the cigar and the smoke whiffs away above him. He says, "You were with some colourful characters last night."
Yes, Mr. Greenstock. Miss West invited me to her place for a kind of rap party.
Your photos. Well, let's put it in the lucky way. There ain't no photos of you in the paper. Couldn't keep your name out because I wasn't willing to give up your contract, kid. Turns around and looks at you. You're a dumb rube.
What is it, Mr. Greenstock? I didn't get up to anything. Well, anything much at the party.
It ain't what you were doing, kid. It's what they were doing around you. If you're gonna go and hang out with debauched creatures like Rose West, for God's sake, make sure the shutters are closed.
Yes, Mr. Greenstock.
You're on the cusp, kid. You could be big, and that means those people out there, they're going to want to take you down. He reaches over and strokes your face. Too perfect. You're going to be a star, kid. We made you this way. You're going to be a star.
Of course, Mr. Greenstock.
I want you to keep away from that woman and her gang of harpies. They're all degenerates.
Of course, Mr. Greenstock. I just thought with us being in the movie together and all.
That's just camera bulb flash and it's over. She's bad news, kid. You can only trust me.
Yes, sir.
Good kid. Good kid. To keep your name out of the paper, I had to promise that you'd go for lunch and have a conversation with Miss Chance.
She called me just before I came out. I was going to go.
She works fast, that one. Watch your back, kid. I wouldn't go alone if I was you.
Okay, I'll see if I can. I'll see if I can find someone to go with.
And here's my biggest piece of advice I'm ever going to give you, kid. Never get caught in a picture with a homosexual.
Of course, Mr. Greenstock.
He shows you the picture, and it's not so much that Rose was sitting straddled or sitting on your lap. It's what's happening behind you. And you realize that probably could have ended a career.
Oh, I didn't realize that was. He's going to kind of like tilt his head as he looks at the picture. I'll be more careful in future, Mr. Greenstock.
Good kid. That's all. he strokes your hand again and says, I'm only cruel to you to make sure you're okay, kid. Gotta look after my talent in this town.
Yes, Mr. Greenstock, I understand.
Okay. Let's pull it down on that one. Rudy, after your romantic morning with from a point of view with Billy, where does Ruby head to? What is he trying to do?
I think since it is doubtful Billy will allow him to follow along for a while, or at least it's going to take a while for his feelings to stop being hurt. I don't know if I should get resupplied or yeah, I think I'll get resupplied before I head on to the lots. And it'd be fine if my supplier was meeting with the alibi to say where they happened to have been. Not seeing me, of course.
And what's your supplier's name? Presumably he's also in the mob.
Oh yes, this is Giacomo the Screws Bertelli.
Giacomo the Screws Bertelli. He seems important enough that he needs to go on the grid. Thank you very much.
And he's known as the Screw. He doesn't do anything physically to hurt people, but he gives them the right drugs to make them pliable, if you get my drift.
So, you normally meet him at a traditional Italian restaurant down on the boardwalk. It's a nice day. The boardwalk's pretty quiet. Just the people out for their promenade. But when you arrive, he's deep down in conversation, and you can sort of overhear something being said, and it's like, yeah, the Greenstock's real cross at that dame. He says I've got to go make sure she don't do no peeping Tom pictures no more.
This sounds like it might affect me. Should I keep my cool to listen in with? I'm afraid that they'll notice that this just street runners listening into their important conversation, though.
Sure.
Okay. Oh, I get an 8. So I can keep my cool, or something worse can happen. Or something of that nature.
So 7 to 9, the MC will tell you how to use how your action will leave you vulnerable. If you continue to listen in, you won't get totally caught, but you're too close. And Adam Silverman will see you and know your face as he passes past you. So should you ever run into him again, could be problems.
Well, I'm young and not that smart right now. I think I'll let him notice my face.
So again, as you pass, he sort of peers at you for a minute to see if he recognizes you, as if he almost does, and then walks on by. Hope you weren't any of those pictures.
Oh, of course not. I may be at a party, but I know well enough to do what I do behind doors. No windows, or if there are windows, 3rd floor at best.
Sounds good. When he sees you, Giacomo says, "Hey, you back so soon?"
You know these Hollywood types. If it's not going up their nose or in their veins, it's going down their throats. I just know how to sell it best.
So, that being the case, it sounds like Summer sold a good party last night, yeah?
Yeah, it was pretty good even for me. I'm not even much of a party person.
You bring the party. You bring the party.
They do happen to show up wherever I go. Just must be magic. And I'll slide him his cut that from the sort and payment for the next round.
He takes the money and says, "It's really nice doing business with you. You're doing very well. There might be a chance for you to get a bigger patch, more opportunity, if you wanted to."
More opportunity than these ingenues and acolytes in the Hollywood business. That sounds intriguing. Tell me more.
The my employers are always looking for someone, people like you, who can help us ensure that our clientele are very happy. We can send you a higher grade. We can send you a little bit more. We can help you do some business on some of the party boats that go out to international waters.
And I think he's sort of thinking about this because he's not sure how vampires in water do, as he's heard some stories. I'm not much of a boat person. Is there anything with rides? Well, if there's a limo driver not driven by a stunt man, I think I should be in it.
Yeah, sure. We can negotiate. My employers would like to meet you.
I'd like to meet them.
They spend a lot of their time out in the boats in the water, but I'll have them come in and meet you. Where would you like to meet?
We can meet on the docks. Call it, meeting them halfway.
I will give I'll give this instruction to the Inverno the Vernos and see if they can come in.
I think Rudy will be like testing his supplies. Like he trusts Giacomo, but there's always that professional courtesy of you're not being stiffed. And once he's sure that everything smells right, tastes right, looks right, like, well, it is nearly afternoon. I think I'm wanted on the lots. Can't keep children away from their candy.
Okay. Then let's move to a point where when you cross onto the lots, it's around the time that Adam comes around and Hackshaw's just breaking out for lunch, which means all three of you can interact with each other.
And I think Rudy will see Adam. Hey, Adam, Mr. Arbor. And then he'll see Jim, I think Jim is sort of coming out of the bungalow or something at that time.
I think we've moved to the movie set, and I'm actually on set at this point.
Okay, it's like, oh, hey, Adam, Mr. Arbor. Screwdriver, is it? As he turns to Henry.
Cute. No, it's hacksaw.
Either way, a tool. Interesting.
I just shake my head. Hey, how'd you do, killer?
Oh, it was fine. Just well, there was some pictures taken at the party I was at last night, and
well, yeah, but you weren't in any of them.
I was, and I mean, I didn't do anything.
Wait, what? You were in some of those pictures that got taken last night?
I mean,
I guess in the pictures.
I guess you could say I wasn't exactly the focus of it. There was, well, some things going on in the, and I was kind of in the periphery.
Oh, you weren't doing anything. Well, You know, maybe if you had been, there's would have been a lot easier to sweep under the rug. As I pat my satchel.
What are you talking about? He wasn't supposed to be in the pictures at all.
Oh. How do you know about these pictures when you weren't even at the party?
Well, I was disinvited from the party. So I went and had a conversation with a friend of mine. And she might have found the party. I just told her what I was up to. How I had gotten kicked out of this exclusive Hollywood party with a whole bunch of A and B list stars who were getting into all kinds of embarrassing behavior.
So you sold us out. I can actually respect that.
And I kind of hold up a finger like, now selling you out implies that I got something for it, other than, well, I guess, does satisfaction count?
Satisfaction counts in this world.
Well, then I suppose I sold you out. But I'm going to go have to have a talk with the person who took those photos, because they were not supposed to include Mr. Arbor in them.
Seems that I was one of the few people that didn't get their photos taken. Adam, if you need help being more discreet, I can definitely help you out. And I think we're getting a bit too close to Adam right now.
He doesn't need more help being discreet. Let me tell you what he needs. And I do that thing where I poke a couple of fingers into your chest. Let me tell you what he needs. He needs to get to be a big enough goddamn star that they can't touch him. That's what he needs.
That would be interesting. And, Adam, most stars tend to like if you bring them gifts. I have plenty of gifts you could offer them even if you don't want to taste yourself.
It's thank you, Rudy. That's kind of you. I'm sure it won't be necessary now, though. I have to go to a meeting. And your turn. Hacksaw, are you free? Mr. Greenstock said it would probably be best if I didn't go there alone, though honestly I don't see what the danger is.
Yeah, sure. I think the big gag I had to do today, falling off a horse, I did that. It's like, it's easy, like falling off a horse, right? Yeah. So yeah, no, I'll go along. That's good. I mean, you want me to drive?
Yes, please, if that's okay.
All right, let's go. Let me just grab a sandwich here, and I reach down to the craft table and grab a, get a couple of sandwiches, and as we're walking, I'm just kind of
I can see why they wanted pictures of him as they're walking away. I guess they're walking away from me.
I will say, Rudy, I would like to speak with you again, though, if that's okay. Maybe you could come by mine later.
Oh, of course. I mean, you want me to come by myself, or should I bring guests?
No, just by yourself is fine.
Understood.
Yeah, and we'll go down. We'll get into my car, and
yeah,
and I do that thing where I like peel out of the parking space and whip around the corner and tear through the lot much too fast right up to the gate to where we're going out. Give a little mock salute to the guy that sits in the little thing that raises and lowers the gates, and then we'll just peel out into traffic.
As I watch them all, it's wonder if corpses can die again. Fucker.
So what's this meeting all about? I mean, you want me to am I here to you want me to just keep quiet? Am I backing up some kind of play you're making? What's going on here?
I honestly, I don't even know what it is that this meeting's about. I'm just there to speak with Ruby Chance. I don't know if you know her at all. I don't know what Mr. Greenstock's worried about really, but I guess he wanted someone to babysit me.
You don't need a babysitter. You need a friend. You need someone who actually, look, you need someone who doesn't really give a shit about what you got. Adam, I like you. I don't really give a shit about what you got. I mean, I like your little bungalow and stuff like that, but there's, I mean, you know, I could find any number of places to live, but you are, you're a very pretty little sheep in a town full of wolves, my friend. And I'm going to be your sheepdog, sir.
Thank you, Hacksaw. That's real sweet of you. And I think he is actually going to kind of look slightly embarrassed at that.
Nothing sweet about it. This is fun. I like seeing the looks on their faces when they can't pull one over on you.
Sure thing, Hacksaw. That's well. Let's see what.
It's left up here, right?
Yeah, and I think you know,
so
Adam's fingers kind of curl, grip the well, I suppose the dashboard a little as it's doing, but he's also like clearly quite enjoying this.
Is that turning you on at all? Am I saying that I'm going to be your protector? Is that?
Yeah, I think so.
Should I roll for that? Let me go ahead and roll for that. I'm not all that hot, but let me give it a shot anyways. Where? Oh, can you drop the link to our roll for your party in? Oh,
Yeah,
there
I'll
it is.
put it
Got it.
in.
Okay, cool. It's just not hot linked. So, but I can do that. I can cut and paste. There it is. All right. Okay, so I think I'm actually hot -1, I believe, unless I am mistaken. I'm hot -1. My beat up face 6 -1 gets me to a whopping 5.
So how does Adam react to this then? So I think I'm interested in here to begin with.
My first XP.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's maybe more that perhaps Adam does read more into this than Hacksaw intended, and I think he is definitely nursing a crush on Hacksaw, but he just kind of it does kind of shut him up a bit, I think. So I think he just sort of spends the rest of the car journey just sort of in silence, like looking out the window.
And how does Hacksaw feel about that?
I can't imagine Hacksaw's all that upset or busted up by it or anything like that. You know, I I kind of look over, and when it's clear he's got nothing else to say, I just, like stick an arm out the window and, one hand on the wheel and get us to our meeting.
Okay. You are in. You're on the boulevard towards the sweeter ends of town, and it's one of the Art Deco buildings where Miss Chance has her offices. On your way in, there are the waiting room is full of young ingenues, all waiting to meet Miss Chance. What strikes you as sort of depressing and unnerving about this, Hacksaw?
That they are either all like they're split right down the middle with girls that are clearly too young, like 14, 15, and clearly past their prime, like, getting into their 30s. and like it's so obvious that none of them are gonna, be the next ingenue or recover whatever, that Ruby is not going to be the magic that makes them 22 again. That it's kind of just like yeah, no, none of you like walking through Rita Hayworth is not sitting there waiting to be discovered. When we cruise through that place, it's going to be a bunch of women that get cast as telephone operators and nurses and stuff like this.
Cool. The receptionist stands up. She doesn't. The cigarette is still in her mouth. This place smells of ash and naive hope and broken dreams. She goes, "Mr. Arbor, I'm such a fan of your work."
Why, thank you, Miss. That's very kind of you to say.
Miss Chance will see you now, and she opens the door.
I'll nod to her, smile, and walk into the office.
And I'm right 2 steps off his right, kind of a little back behind his right shoulder, just kind of come walking in with him.
Ruby Chance is sat on an impressive black velvet couch and is sitting down, smoking a cigarette in a holder. Says, "Mr. Arbor, come in, sit down. Why don't you?"
Thank you, Miss Chance. I don't believe I've had the pleasure before. It's an honor to meet you. I've heard a lot about your work.
It's well known, Mr. Arbor, that your contract is up for extension or renegotiation. Have you thought about seeking alternate representation in the city? When she says that, what is slightly infernal about her, Adam?
So I think the cigarette she's smoking, the smoke does that sort of thing where it seems to stay in a long thin trail for longer than it should before it disperses. It sort of curls around in loops and coils up towards the ceiling, and it smells. There's just a very faint undercurrent of brimstone to the cigarette smoke.
She sort of leans in and says, Mr. Mr. Greenstock is a producer of cowboy films and children's dramas. There's other more impressive roles out there, Mr. Greenstock, away from that studio. And she puts her hand on your knee. All you need is someone who can help you break through into the big time.
Yes, Miss Chance, I've been thinking now hard about whether I want to stay with the studio. I can't deny they have done a lot for me. They have practically raised me. And I suppose I still feel some loyalty towards Mr. Greenstock, but I feel like I can't truly grow, become myself, whilst I'm still tied there.
There's Washington in the Money's now Washington Money in the movies now, kid. We could do with a clean cut, fresh face like yours. Kid growing up, doing his duty for the country. Everybody loves a hero. And she looks at and pushes out the photos on the table and says, with representation like me, you could do whatever you want and no one would ever find you.
And that is when I have walked over to her bar and just poured Adam and me, whatever, dropped a couple of ice cubes into the glass and just poured us a couple of like 3 fingers over ice of whatever the best bourbon she's got on the bar is. And I walk back over and I very consciously put the drink down in the drink for Adam down in the middle of the picture.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to shut her down.
Okay.
With her, like she's starting to get she's getting on my nerves. So I'm going to roll with cold here, which is, I think I got +1 in that right now. My cold's at +1. So let's see what we got. Perfect. That's a 4.
You do well. When you put the drink down, she picks it up and says, "Well, thank you now." Takes a mouthful, passes the other one to Adam, and slightly turns her shoulder to you.
All right. Yeah, I'll go back and pour a third one for myself.
Why don't you have a think about it, Adam? Anything you want. Myself and my agency would be happy to represent you. And I can get you a casting call for what's the film that everyone wants to be in right now. I'm going to ask Ferret to answer that question, who's watching insightfully here. What's the movie that everybody wants to be in?
I'm going to go back to what I said the first session, The Topaz Peacock.
Mm-hmm. Film noir, detectives. It's so on vogue right now, Adam. Wouldn't you like to be up there? On the screen, everyone wanting to see you, have a piece of you. The best roles.
Well, Miss Chance, that's very kind of you. And yes, the Topaz Peacock is the rage at the moment. But he's going to sort of pick up the glass and lean back in his chair, attempting to look cool and controlled, and say, "But I obviously have to keep my options open. I am, as you say, in quite some demand myself, and there is I'm sure there are other agents in this town who would be happy to represent me, and yeah, I'm going to attempt to shut her down as well."
Okay. Need a drum roll.
Yeah, and that is a 4.
She smiles and she knows she's got you interested, and she's taken a string. Because yeah,
and I think at that point, kind of he'll down the glass of bourbon and choke on it.
Bogart's too old, kid. Could be you. We'll speak again. Why don't you and your gorilla go take the air?
Thanks, Miss Chance. I might be back in touch. And he kind of is sort of again blushing somewhat now as he puts the glass down on the table and heads out the door.
Mm-hmm.
And I throw it down, walk out behind him, turn to her, shrug, make a little motion like I'm scratching under my arms, and then walk out and pull the door closed behind me.
Mm-hmm.
And I look at him and I like put a hand on Adam's shoulder and I go, well, I feel like that went well.
Do you think so?
I do not. She's like, what do you? We should send her flowers or something like that. What is it? What do you like? Like, what is a spider's favorite color?
Um,
And like, I throw an arm around his shoulder and I'm walking out like we're walking back out to the curb.
Okay, I'm gonna cut across to Rudy. Rudy, when you probably you took a string on Billy or spent a string on Billy earlier. What was he was gonna bring you along or tell you when he was about to do something stupid? What is the exact want?
I wanted him to let me know, like, when he was next working a job for Rose, to bring me along.
Okay.
Though I think this would be a great time for me to meet Mr. Greenstock, if that's okay.
Yeah, I'm happy to have that. And then I've got one more thing that I want to do before we take break. Cool. All right.
Yeah, I'll. I think I'm waiting in the office, like, to be called in. I don't get to just walk in,
Mm-hmm.
but like, it's odd because, like, it's obviously child star, up and comer, me, and like everyone's looking around, like, who's the extra? But once I
So
get, I'll go ahead.
no. You'll carry on.
And like once I get called in, I'll sort of walk in like I own the place, and once I get called in, sort of look around his office at all the awards he and his have won. And it's like, seems Adam has become a very talked about person in this city.
Greenstock points over to the bar and says, "Help yourself, whatever you like, as always."
And I think I'll make a drink, but sort of like a lot of the people on YouTube, it'll be like I'll make a drink and pretend to sip, but it never seems to really get emptier.
Mm-hmm. Says it's whatever you put in those speedballs last night for the party did the trick.
Yes, but I'm a bit worried about Adam. It seems that the person whose party I went to has her lips on his ears. It seems that there's a chance he may be poached.
He won't be poached. We'll keep him. I've no doubt. He comes back. He's well educated.
He's at that age, though. He's bristling. He's looking for more. And really, in his life, you're the closest to a father figure I think he has. And who does a young man want to rebel against but his father?
You're very wise for such a young child.
I'm astute. I wouldn't be in this job if I wasn't able to be perceptive.
He's I think he's in. Someone would like to sever the ties with him and me. Perhaps you could sort that out for me, Rudy.
I think there's several ways. I mean, Adam seems to be still attached to you. Maybe not at the hip like he once was, but maybe if we get him in a better part, just aggressively go. I mean, one of my clients could maybe suffer some, mistakes that drugs happen to have every now and again, and a part could open up for him that you find for him. You glean that, you get him that part, well, he's got to heal, doesn't he?
He is smiling broadly at this and says, "You're a bastard. But you're my kind of bastard. I tell you what, you you find me some stooge to go down," and he passes you the card of it's just got a picture of a Black Widow on the back of it. She's the one pulling the strings on this. I've got a disagreement with her. Always, always will know who's fucking who in this town.
Yes. But you tell me what part you want for him, I'll hunt it down. I'll bleed it dry.
We need to build on his image of purity. There's a lead. There's a lead in a musical. He's got the voice of an angel, that kid.
Yes, but I think that might be a bit too chaste for him. If you keep his image too squeaky clean forever, people are going to get bored.
Just not yet. He can't grow up just yet.
Why not? Well, I mean, if he doesn't grow up a little bit, he's going to start throwing tantrums like a child. What do you have on him that you want him to stay so innocent, so clean? I mean, most kids his age have been on my shit for 4 years.
He's just got good, clean living. Maybe one of those war movies that they're shooting about the European thing.
You know, that would be pretty good. And you could keep his image clean then. What's better than a good all-American soldier who does everything for his country?
I like the sound of this. And what will you be wanting for this little favor?
I'll be wanting the rights to stay on here. And, you know, I do have a certain something that I could be wanting. You know that tool you have in your employment? Hacksaw, I think he goes by. I have it under the best authority that he's the reason that Adam's pictures almost got out. He's the reason the pictures got taken. Maybe he shouldn't be let back on set.
You tell a good story. He's a bad influence on Adam anyway. Done.
The worst. And I'll like raise my glass. If I actually drink some, it's like, oh, I'm gonna have to throw this up later.
Okay. And I cut from that. So what I'm about to do with Billy was not asked for by Rose. It's on his own actions. Are you happy for him that I'm not going to violate your pull of the string? Would you rather he contacts you beforehand, Ferret?
I'd like him to contact me and at least let me know what he's going to do, or drop hints.
Yeah, he rings then at convenient time and says, well, I'm not breaking my promise to you. Rose didn't ask me to do this. I'm doing it because he's a bad man.
Who's a bad man?
That damn stunt man. He upset Dee Dee.
Oh, and Dee Dee's so sweet. You know, four hands can hold twice as many clubs if knees need to be broken.
Yeah. I know how to sort it. I'll be fine. And the phone goes down.
I'll look at the Black Widow card. Well, guess it's time to be the Spider as well. And
okay.
Yeah.
Let's cut back to just getting into the car.
So what are you doing with the rest of your day, Mr. Arbor?
I don't have any particular plans. I suppose I was going to head back to my place. I said I'd meet up with Rudy later. I wanted to have a word with him about something, but
so you've got a few hours, right?
I do. Yes. Yeah.
All right. So have you ever shot a machine gun before?
No, I can't say I have.
Let's go shoot some machine guns.
You can just do that.
I mean, if you know people who handle props for movies, then I mean, yeah, you can.
So at this point, just see as you got in the car and he's about to shut the door, there's a rev in an engine and a smash of a Studebaker hitting someone through a door down the street. Billy gets out with a baseball bat and starts hitting Hacksaw, saying, "Don't upset Dee Dee." Beats him, gets into the car, drives over him, and drives away. And we'll take our break there. So if I was kind, I'd go back to Adam after that, but I'm not. So I'm going to go to Rudy. And let's see how Rudy is. What did Rudy do after his meeting with Mr. Greenstock?
Seeing as it's not that night when he's going to be with Adam, he probably went home since he's been working most of the day.
Mm-hmm. So what's the signal that Uncle Joe would leave out to let you know that his boxer friend Ezard Charles was visiting?
Probably there would just be like very loud sports on the TV coming out of the house, like so it'd drown out what they're doing as well. But just like horse track racing, a baseball game, boxing.
Okay, so would you go in at those situations, or would you find yourself somewhere else to?
I went in that one time, which did give me the money to start this drug career, but I'm very polite. Since I know what they're doing now, I would leave them be, but probably would go someplace to people watch after that.
Where would you go?
Probably some like mid-level cafe, a place where you can see the normal people, but every now and again, someone in like high up in Hollywood might come by, or you might see an agent looking for like that regular person look for extras or a commercial.
Mhm. So when you sit down and order whatever it is you want to eat and drink, you've been there for a few minutes, and the door opens with a ding, and you see Joe Carnaby. He's a detective and a vice cop, one of those actual last decent cops in the city type. And you had a run in with him in the past. What did you do that almost got you caught?
I think what almost got me caught was I was just I wasn't selling that day. I just happened to be on private property, and I just happened to be able to scramble faster than he was able to scramble over things and lost him.
He spots you and starts coming towards you. Do you think you need to keep your cool?
No, I'm not doing anything wrong, and
Mm-hmm.
I've gotten rid of most of my wares. Not gonna let him search me. Not like he has reason to search me right now, anyway.
He has a cup of coffee and a donut and walks to your table and smiles. Says, "Mr. Forsyth, can I join you?"
Free country.
He sits down, takes a sip of his coffee, goes, "Damn fine coffee." Your name keeps coming up, Mr. Forsyth. Who knew you were so well connected?
I guess the people whose name isn't my name is in their mouth.
So I hear you've been hanging out with Obi Summers.
He's invited me over once or thrice.
How old is Rudy?
Rudy's probably would have been pushing, 19, going on immortal.
Mm-hmm. He goes, "Now, are you allowed in a nightclub, Mr. Forsyth?"
Allowed is such a loaded word. You want to know if I've been in them, don't you?
That would be lovely. If you'd like to confess to dealing dope and reefers as well, I'd also be really, really happy about that.
Oh, I'm so certain you would. But I'm an honest kid. All I do is work with those who sell papers. It's why I'm everywhere, you know. It's why I know so much. I read.
The funny papers, I bet, kid.
No, you've never shown up in them.
Dick Tracy, he was based on me.
Well, that I'd highly doubt. He seems to be successful.
Getting yourself a name, Mr. Forsyth. Sooner or later, people like you with names, they get recognized and they get the chance to get closer to other people. I don't think, Mr. Forsyth, that you'd ever really be happy being in someone else's pocket.
I'm surprised you know so much about me, yet we so rarely talk. Interesting.
I'm insightful, in touch with my emotions and feelings and all that.
Does your husband know about this?
He sort of chews the donut mouthful slowly and says, You need to watch your mouth, kid.
Oh, is that an invitation? I'm sorry, I don't swing that way. Not that Obi hasn't tried. And trust me, he looks much better than you do. I think I'm shutting him down. That I'm just being a snarky bitch. So I mean,
Yeah, that's fine.
that's
Yeah.
usually what shutting someone down is.
Yeah. Go for it.
Ooh, I got a 10. I got an
Ooh,
11 because I was carrying +1 forward. So I will continue to carry 1 forward, and why not? I'll gain a string on the vice cop.
Mm-hmm. He sort of is finished chewing his mouth of his throat, and he says, "Up to you, kid. But there's bigger fish than you, and I'm more interested in them. You ever want to cut a deal?" And he leaves.
Yeah. So I'll watch him leave, and I'll pocket that information that he may want to cut a deal one day.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's cut back elsewhere. Adam, you were just having the door of the car shut, and some lunatic ran over Hacksaw, hit him with a baseball bat, and then ran over him some more. Jim, if it wasn't clear, you've taken 3 harm.
Fantastic.
How does Adam react to this, to Billy running over and beating Henry Hacksaw Sims to death?
Shock and panic, I think, is probably the...
Do you want to keep your cool then, maybe?
Yeah, that sounds appropriate. So, yeah. I think what I'm afraid of is that Hacksaw is dead. I suppose... Yeah, no, I think that's probably his biggest fear at the minute. I was trying to think if there's a way of framing that's a more active thing, but I think that's probably it.
I think this likely went off whilst you're keeping your cool whilst Billy is doing the beating with the baseball bat.
Yeah.
It's not a pleasant and unviolent moment.
So that's a 5.
So you're paralyzed by fear until the assault has finished and Billy drives off. And
yeah, and I think at that moment, once he's gone, I think he kind of unfreezes a bit, scrabbles at the car door, opens it, runs over to Hacksaw, and kind of grabs at him, but he obviously doesn't really know what he's doing, but is trying to largely, I guess, hold the blood inside whilst, and I mean, he will be kind of screaming for help at this point.
Hacksaw's got the look of a side of beef right now. He is there's blood pouring from him. His eyes are up and empty, and he's in your eyes. So hands definitely dead. You can hear people screaming all around you. Somewhere,
his arms. I'm in his arms. While I am dead.
Someone is screaming and going and panicking, and then someone says, "What's going on? What happened? Hey, isn't that Adam Arbor?"
And I think at that it's going to kind of snap when he hears his voice. It kind of snaps him back a bit more, and he says, "Some lunatic just drove out of nowhere and ran him over and beat him. I don't know what's going on. We need an ambulance here. Someone get a doctor."
Someone runs off to find a police officer. What does it look like when Hacksaw comes back to life?
So I guess the question is, does this happen like later in the ambulance, or like does Adam see it happen?
How long do you think it takes Hacksaw to?
The sheet says that it takes that it's the actual move says when you die, wait a few hours, you come back good as new.
Okay. So I think in that case, the police arrive, ask you what happened. An ambulance arrives from the morgue and puts him in and puts a sheet over him. Someone has rung the studio to have you taken back safely. How's Adam feeling about all this?
Yeah, I think just completely shocked by the whole thing.
Did Did Adam recognize Billy?
I'm going to say with the failed keep your cool, almost certainly not.
Okay.
Might recognize him again if he saw him again, but I don't think. Yeah, I don't think it was in the right frame of mind to like put a name to a face. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So, describe then, Hacksaw, how you come back to life and get yourself out of the morgue drawer you're in.
Yeah, the coroner's aide is like smoking a cigarette, sitting there reading an issue of it's totally the tabloid that has the photos from the party. They are like sitting there at the desk. They've got their feet up, cigarette dangling out of the corner of their mouth. And and then they hear like ding, 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 ding. And they like look over. And then they go back to their magazine. And then they hear ding, 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 ding. And they like look over again and they put it down. And then there's the like slow walk over. And then a third time louder, someone pounding on one of the, the doors. And they pull it out. And like I kind of do one of these because the light is in my eyes, and I say, and like I kind of haul myself out and sit up, and I'm bare ass naked, and I say, can I borrow your coat?
The cigarette drops out of his mouth, and this look of horror on his face. And I think we cut to a few seconds later when you're leaving wearing an ill-fitted pair of shoes and an old-looking raincoat.
Yeah, and I bummed a cigarette off of him, so I've got a cigarette. So I just kind of walk out front. Oh, and I'm gonna bum a dime off of him too.
Okay.
And I drop it in a payphone. And I call up Adam.
Okay, let's cut from there because whilst you were dead, there was plenty of time for Rudy to have done anything he wanted to with Adam.
Yeah, I think Rudy would have showed up at Adam's bungalow at some time after dawn and knocked on the door.
It's all around town that there's something terrible happened. Rudy's driver was mowed down.
I knock with a bit of a like skip to the knock.
Yeah. Adam will answer the door. I think he is probably actually just dressed in a dressing gown. Probably looks like he has, in the not too distant past, had a bath or a shower or something. and he's just kind of looking sort of a bit vacant, I think, at the moment. He says, "What are you? Oh, Rudy, come in. Sorry, I forgot I'd ask you to come around."
I will take that string on you then. And Rudy steps in. Oh, such terrible news today. I heard it on the wire. I mean, poor Hammer. Just when you hit so many nails, someone's going to hit back eventually. Gotta suck, though. I mean, you were right there when you saw it, weren't you?
I don't know what it. This guy just came out of nowhere. It was crazy. I just froze up, and then it happened, and I don't know what any of this was about. It was just so out of the blue.
Well, people like myself, and I guess I'll be kind and call him by what he wanted to. Hacksaw. We get in trouble sometimes. We find people who don't really like the way we handle things, and sometimes they'll handle us. I'm lucky enough to be more slippery than a bludgeon. But how are you holding up? Are you okay? You look stressed. Can I offer you something on the house?
I don't know. That was kind of why I asked you here this evening.
Go on.
I mean, maybe this sounds kind of dumb, I suppose, but do you know what I should enjoy?
Right now you're stressed, and the people I get my stuff from say that reefer is pretty good for stress. You don't want any of the powders or the more... You need to stay away from the hard stuff, Adam. You have a pretty face that you don't want to get sallow and gaunt.
Well, maybe that then, I suppose.
Here, let me show you. And I think he'll pull out like a bit of a rolling paper and like sit Adam down at a table and like reach behind him, like hold Adam's hands as he like helps Adam roll his first joint. As I think I might be getting a bit too close and accidentally turning Adam on.
That sounds good.
I'm taking my +1 forward, which I needed. That is a 7.
Ooh. Yeah, I think I am actually going to go with the get embarrassed and act awkward. It seems a fitting one here, and I think like as he doesn't exactly flinch away from from Rudy's touch, but he kind of like fumbles the joint as his hands get close and says, "Look, it was at that party last night. Everyone seemed to be having fun, having a good time, doing whatever they wanted to do there, and I don't know what I want."
I think this is like the first time Rudy's heard something that really makes sense, because a lot of people in Hollywood seem to be more sexual than he is, and like that feeling of not knowing what you want around these people really hits home. So he's going to sit down beside Adam, like help, like light the joint for Adam, and I'm going to spin a string to tempt you to tell me truthfully what's wrong. And just like, you can, I know it's hard to believe, but you can trust me. What are you feeling? What's going on?
I don't know. Look, Hacksaw's always been nice to me, and just earlier we were we had a conversation, and I think maybe he has feelings for me that, well, that I guess perhaps he shouldn't, and I think maybe I feel the same for him too, but I don't know.
Look, there is no shouldn't in feelings. I don't care what the people in those doctors' offices say, what the people on the street say. If you love Hacksaw, if you feel for Hacksaw, and he feels the same for you, that's rare. That's beautiful. You should not feel ashamed of this.
I I don't know. I wish I knew what I wanted out of everything.
Yeah, me too. And okay, how do you? This is going to be a bit whiplashy, I think. But how do you feel about Greenstock?
He's been like a father to me, I suppose. He's always taken care of me, protected me from the world, I suppose. And he's always kept me working. He's always got me good parts. But I feel like I can't be the person he thinks I am.
It's hard to be the person you think you. I mean, other people want you to be. It's hard to be who you want to be sometimes. And it sucks. Trust me, I know a lot about things sucking. And he like rubs his neck a bit from bad memories. But if you don't feel like you should still be under his control, fuck me. I won't stop you. I'll be honest. He wants me to make sure you stay under his thumb. He wants you to be under his contract and no one else's. He kind of asked me to check in on you, maybe get you hooked on my stuff like a fisherman.
That certainly sounds like him. It's okay. Like, you don't have to feel bad for whatever. So, and I think he sort of takes a drag on the reef and probably does, yeah, choking it a little. So what do you do for fun, I suppose? I mean, I know this is like your job, I guess.
Honestly, I spend time with my uncle. He's one of the few people that's ever really understood me. My parents thought I was a sissy. They sent me out here because they said that's where sissies go. Wasn't good enough for the farm. And my uncle let me be me. He doesn't call me names. He doesn't police me. He just wants me to be happy. And I think sometimes he's a bit too lenient with what allows me to be happy, but I just like watching movies with him and talking and letting him be happy too.
Could I ask Adam, as you're smoking this reefer, do you feel that you're losing yourself in brooding introspection?
Yeah, I think I could well be.
It sounds like you might be gazing into the abyss then.
Yeah. What do I want to ask?
You're taking it so well that your mentor and father figure is trying to get you hooked on drugs.
Yeah. I think. Yeah, no, I think I probably will, because I think it's on my mind at the minute. I will ask. I will ask for a way out of the control of Mr. Greenstock. I think that's what my thoughts are dwelling on.
Sure. So roll with dark for me then, please.
That's a 10.
You get as the smoke of the reefer twists up in front of your eyes, you get a strange feeling and a smell of odd incenses. You can see fire all around you, but it doesn't seem to be burning you. You feel quite warm and content. And then you're pulled out into the light, and you can see Greenstock and others looking down at you. It says, perfect, perfect. And a little bit of paper is put under your tongue. You start coughing and come to life.
Cool. Yeah, and I think kind of at this point, Adam has kind of gone off into a bit of a trance.
I just say, is this maybe the time when I'll have two questions. Has Adam helped me resolve the mean condition by allowing me to, asking me about what makes me tick and...
Yeah, I think so. That was a lovely scene between you. I think you opened yourself out and you actually acted in someone other than your own self-interest. I think that will cancel the mean.
And does the phone ring?
The phone can ring, and then the door can open after the phone call.
Oh dear.
What's the phone? Who are you expecting to ring you?
Hacksaw. I mean, he did.
Oh, you were ringing. Yeah. Oh, you were ringing for. Oh, that's right. Sorry, you were ringing for Adam. Yes. So at that point, yeah, the phone will ring. Who answers?
I would say if Adam is all trancy, I can answer.
This should be fun.
Mr. Arbor's place of residence. May I take a message?
Well, hello, Rudolph. That didn't take you very long, did it? Comforting the bereaved?
Oh, nice stunt you've been pulling. You've got to teach me how to do this sometime.
Well, that's what they pay me for. Let me talk to Adam.
And I'll look over at Adam and it's like, he seems to be... I'm not doing anything that I wouldn't do, but he seems to be a bit preoccupied.
Yeah, I did not ask for your opinion on his condition. I asked to speak to him.
Are you shutting him down?
Yeah, I guess I am. I suppose that sounds like what I'm doing. Roll with cold here. 5 + 1 gets me to 6.
Do you want to spend a string on me?
I've got a string on you, right? I've got 2. Yeah, I'll spend one of my strings to get that to a 7, right? Is that how that works?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll burn one of my strings to get that to a 7. Choose one from below, but I come across poorly, and they give me a condition. Blah 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 blah. I'm going to give him a condition, and that is vulture.
Oh, I am. And I think the condition I'm going to give you is. Oh,
Does getting beaten to death mean I'm no longer shifty looking?
I'm not sure you don't look any less shifty by being.
I think because of your clothing choice right now, you are a sore thumb. You stick out.
Okay, got it. Sure.
And it's like, Adam, I think you would like this call. And I think you would have liked it if you had talked to me a bit. I have a bit of information, but no matter. And I'll hand the phone over to Adam.
Hey, buddy.
You're muted, David.
Hacksaw, is that you?
Yeah, it's me. I wasn't as bad as it looked.
This isn't a reefer thing, is it?
I don't know. I mean, I'm not a reefer thing, but I mean, I know. Does my voice sound like a chipmunk or something like that?
No, it sounds like you. I thought you were dead.
Yeah, well, the coroner did too, but reports, of my demise are sadly mistaken, or however that goes. But anyways, look, I'm down here at the county morgue. Can you just bring my car around so I can get home and get cleaned up?
Yeah, sure. I'll be right there. This is great. I thought I'd lost you.
No such luck, my friend. I'm afraid. Just bring car around. I'm going to soak for a bit, and then I'm gonna pay a visit. You are welcome to come along with me if you like. I think you can learn a thing or two.
Sure thing. I'll go get the car. I'll be there. Yeah, I'll be there soon.
Hey, do me a favor. I'm not really in a. I'm afraid that if you bring Rudolph along, that I will do violence to him. So maybe just, like I don't care if you leave him there to watch your house, but maybe don't bring him along.
Sure. Whatever you want, Hacksaw. I'll be there.
I owe you one, friend.
It's fine. I'll see you soon.
Okay. Are you sure you're in a condition to drive? I could drive for you.
No, it's fine. I think it's best if just I go.
Are you certain?
Yeah.
Are you pulling a string?
I believe I am. I'm tempting you to let me drive you.
Oh.
And did I just trigger my hunger there? Because my hunger is all about people thinking that I'm afraid, and then, or like being afraid that I'm hurt, and then kind of flipping it on them.
Yeah, I think you did. You feel off the emotions from.
Yeah, it's and specifically I feed off the kind of roller coaster, the like anxiety to relief to like that. So
and there's at least that fear that you were this was a joke as well.
Yeah, cool. So I'm gonna take I will choose to take an XP for that for satiating my hunger. So
Cool. And yeah, I think. Okay, if you think it's best, but I don't mean to be like I don't mean to be a prick about this, but I think I'd just like to see Hacksaw just me. So if you can drive me, I can give you fare for a cab or whatever. And
I understand. I will drive you there, and I won't say anything to him. I won't say anything to you. I understand that you probably have more to say to him than I really need to butt into, but I'd like you to get there safely. And trust me, I drive safely.
yeah, sure, that makes sense.
Yeah. So I'll get in the front. I'll open the door for Adam to get in the passenger side, and I'll drive us there safely.
How does Haxel react when the car comes up and Rudy is visible in it? Just if I understood what you set up there, that's correct, yeah.
Oh yes.
So Rudy is driving Adam.
I'm kind of shaking my head as I walk up, and like I'm gonna walk up and like as he's pulling to a stop, I'm doing that thing where I'm opening the car door and like holding out my hand for my keys.
I'll step out, hand the keys over. But do you take any signs of violence towards me?
No, like if you put the keys in my hand, then I just get in the car, shut the door, and pull out from the curb, leaving you standing there.
I want to I'll put a hand on your chest. It's like,
oh yeah, no, if you touch me, then there's going to be problems.
Like, I'm saying, like, just be careful with.
Okay, so hand touches my chest, and that's grab you by the wrist, jack your arm up behind your head, slam your face down into the hood of my car, kind of thing.
Lash out physically against me.
Yeah. Yeah.
You beat me to it, yeah.
All right. So this is something that I can use my +2 volatile for. So let's see what we got.
And
oh my God.
What'd you get?
4 + 2 is 6. I'll spend my other string.
I would say I was a vulture by coming along.
You are a vulture coming along. Can I leverage that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we got a 7 here then. So 7 and 9 on lash out.
So that's fine. You harm them, so you're going to take 1 harm there, Rudy. But you choose one thing back. Do you learn something?
Oh no, they choose.
I make the choice.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, no, they harm. Yeah.
So I'm going to not take the harm yet, just in case they
allow you
to decide it.
Let me see. Well, 10 up, you deal them harm, and they choke up momentarily. And a 7 and 9, you harm them. So you do take the harm, but I choose 1. Oh, I'm totally going Darkest Self here. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, this is the first time we've seen Darkest Self. Your dull hunger. Oh, am I looking at the right one? You're the ghoul, aren't you? Yeah. Your dull hunger sharpens. You can't focus on anything else but feeding. And in addition to your peculiar cravings, you recognize something else: a primordial hunger which connects all hungers: flesh, blood, meat. You escape your darker self once you've overindulged or you've been locked out for long enough to regain composure.
Yeah,
so how does the...
I guess I'll be slammed against the car. Like, I think I was about to say, like, just be and like turn around, mouth bleeding. I think like my fangs pop out for a second,
and like head down on the cart, and I kind of lean down, and I say, I don't give a fuck what you do to anyone else, but you know what? I don't give a damn what you do. I don't give a damn what you do to any of those. Oh God, I don't give a damn what any you do to any of those other parasites. But I am not. Oh God, when I say, yeah, I'm not one of your sheep. I say, and then just kind of toss them off into the gutter, and then you can do your thing.
Yeah, I think my fangs have come out. I think you turn around and see them for a bit before, like, he covers his mouth. It's like I was saying, be careful with him. He's not like the others. God, fucking damn it!
And I say, if he were like the others, I wouldn't be hanging around him. And I get in the car, slam the door, and peel out from the curb. And I'm gonna drive like a bat out of hell, like maniac, running stoplights, swerving between cars, almost certainly like a fender ding or two as I drive over to Rose's place.
I'm going to ask, in that case, considering your description of your driving, how Adam's keeping his cool.
Sure. Yeah, I think my fear here is probably that.
And
I think I'm worried that that Hacksaw's just going to get himself in more trouble.
and I'm
Possibly a justified fear, but
yeah, and I'm better, but I still look like crap. Like I think probably, like there's like big, ugly, horrifying bruises and stuff like this where I got worked over with the baseball bat, and almost certainly like actual, like you can see like tire tracks across the back of my arm that haven't, grown out or something like that. Like I look like I got run over by a car and hit by a baseball bat. So I think that's the other part of that sore thumb thing.
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's a 4 there.
Oh no. So I'm sorry. So I'm going to lean back in. You're still under the effects of the reefer, and you're still not quite yourself. It's hit you harder than you would have expected. Maybe that damn Rudy put something weird in it. But you can see and you can feel again. You're back in the fire, and they're all looking around you and sort of kneeling down and chanting something as you can feel almost like a chrysalis cracking away from you. This feeling of helplessness and terror around you is almost the first feeling you ever had as you came into the world.
Awesome. So yeah, I think Adam is probably just kind of like wide-eyed and staring in the seat next to Hacksaw whilst this is going on.
Okay, you come screeching up to the gates of Rose. You did say Roses.
Oh yeah.
Right, yeah. Pearl has said that she feels well enough to join in. Pearl, are you there with us? Because I can bring you in for the last 10, 20 minutes. Yeah. Okay, so I'll add Rose and Pearl to the stream at the perfect time. How does Haxel approach the gates?
I am just at full speed. I am going to knock them down with my automobile.
Okay.
And
cool.
I turn to Adam as we're as we're turning into her driveway to where I'm gonna come through the gates. I turn to Adam and I say, you with me, right? No fear, right?
Don't do this, Haxo. You'll just make things worse. You
Um,
need to calm down. You're acting crazy.
and I, and this is where I laugh and say, I laugh and I say, this ain't crazy. You ain't seen crazy, but you let them push, they'll never stop pushing. You got to push back. And I want to use my string
Mm-hmm.
on Adam to give him the condition. Oh, what like what's a condition that describes like you're in this with me. You're gonna see it through to the end. Committed. That's the condition I'm gonna give him.
Okay, Rose. Whatever you are doing inside. Well, what is Rose doing inside her house as she is distracted by a car smashing the gates down?
She is luxuriatedly. Either way.
Luxuriously.
That's the word I wanted. Lounging on a very nice decorative chaise lounge or such thing, drinking a mimosa and
Mm-hmm.
having a chat with some of her crew. I would like to think that Billy has come here after what happened with Hacksaw.
Oh yeah, of course, of course. How many of your crew are like you, Rose? How many of the
I don't.
clique are?
You mean the starlit aspect or the
Well, we've
other
sort of established in the past that
supernatural?
supernatural aspect of her.
None of them.
Okay,
No competition in the crew. I have to be the queen.
that's fine. So, Billy has of course told you what he did. He's sorry. He lost his temper. It wasn't his fault. Rudy said he couldn't draw.
I don't have any love for Hacksaw, so I'm not going to get mad at Billy. I expressed that perhaps he should have checked in first, with me and the rest of the crew, but that I understand the protective urge since Hacksaw, has not been so polite, and I'm going to give him a mimosa and say, why don't we all just enjoy our afternoon?
Just as you pass in the glass, there's the smash outside and the screaming of "Are you with me?" from outside. Someone gets out of the car.
What in heaven's name is that? Everyone, stations. I have contingency
What happens?
plans for
What
if
happens when you call stations? Then describe what especially we've got Billy,
Billy
Dee
and
Dee or
Dee Dee
Dahlia and Maggie, especially those are your closest lieutenants, as well as any of your hanger-on and entourage. What do they do?
Billy heads towards the front of the house, stays inside, but like where if someone were to come through the door or one of the windows adjacent, he would have first crack at them with his baseball bat, which I think he carries around a lot of the time, or at least has at reach. Mags and Dee Dee help a number of other entourage members put the extra locks down on other windows and doors, so we can't be surprised. It's like a very quick process. We've trained this. And some of the other people of various genders get in line next to or behind Billy.
Can you remind me which you chose as the aspect of your clique? Was it their cultists with dark oaths and willing to die?
Yes. I need to. I thought I had the keeper open.
Oh,
I've been
I'll
taking
send that to you now.
but,
Hold on. Let me just take that in. Just want to check what their behavior is likely to be.
There we go. Okay.
No, they're connected with money and designer drugs. They're not. Yeah, that's what you've chosen. Okay.
Yes.
Right. So they take their positions.
I immediately there is an app for this. I know it exists, but I don't think you could use it in the 1940s. I instruct a few of the other onlookers to call any of our allies that we might want and just let them know we don't know what's going down, but we might require assistance since we are so connected and all. And to maybe head over, and if there is not assistance needed, we'll have a party.
Okay. What does Hacksaw do next?
I turn to Adam and I like grab him by the lapels and I say, I need you to punch me in the face as hard as you can. Like you mean it. Come on. And I'm like shaking him.
Sure. And I will punch.
And he punches me in the face as hard as he can. My nose starts to bleed. Just a little bit. Like it's not a great punch. Like I've been punched by people that actually know how to do it, but that's enough. And like when I start to like, I see the stars and the ringing in my ears, and I kind of like let it wash over me, and that's how I gaze into the abyss. Because I want to know exactly where Billy is.
Okay, let's roll with Dark.
And I think that's Dark's a -1 for me. Let's see how bad I messed this up. I'm looking forward to it. Ooh, 10 -1 gets me to a 9. Oh, let me ask a question. No. Yeah, I guess that's... Yeah. 10 -1 gets me to a 9, so I got 7 and 9.
So the abyss shows you confusing, alarming visions.
Because I don't have a string on Billy to spend or anything. So yeah.
Okay, so Billy is just on the other side of the door with his baseball bat. You get confusing images of being. It's definitely not you, but you can feel similar images of being pulled out of a fire, and you can see Greenstock looking down at you, and he puts something into your mouth. There's someone just to the side of Greenstock that you don't recognize, but he's got a smile like a crocodile. And something horrendous and dark is said, and you feel yourself for a moment looking out of Adam's eyes, slightly discombobulated and freaked out.
And I walk up to the door. Oh, man. So is Billy anywhere near a window?
No.
Okay. All right. Okay, cool. So then, then I will walk up to the door and I will press the doorbell.
Mm-hmm.
And I will stand there kind of tapping my foot.
Billy, as part of the protocol, yells, "Who are you?" through the door.
I'm your unfinished business, Billy. You screwed up. You're not any good at this, are you? You're as lousy at trying to whack somebody as you are an artist.
At this point, I walk up behind Billy and I yell, "Hacksaw, you'd better get the fuck off my property. You have no idea how many people here would be happy to finish the business you're talking about, and I'm one of them."
So are you saying that you actually sent him to murder me? Is that what you're telling me?
I'm actually trying to shut you down.
Okay.
Is the role for your party like the keeper?
I'll put it in the link now. Hold on.
Thank you. There we go. A deeply poetic badger. All right. So to shut someone down, you roll with cold, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a +1 for me. So that's an 8 total. And if I have a string, it only gives me 1 extra, so it wouldn't help, right?
So I think he is being a sore
Oh.
thumb. So you could tag that, then spin a string.
And anything I'm doing with my entourage, I get something with. Did someone say that? I don't know.
But your entourage would have to be threatening him for you, I think, to get the +1.
I see. I mean, they are all implied threatening him, but they have not actually said so. That's fine. What is the thing I can do to?
Tag his
Hacksaw.
condition, then spin a string.
Okay. Yes. I would like to tag that condition and spend a string.
Okay. So it's now a 10. A 10 up. Choose one from below. But you are shutting them down. And
Yes. Condition, I take one. Okay. Let me check what he has on me. You have one string on me, is that right?
I have a string on you. Yes, yeah.
Yes. Okay. So I can either take that away. I can give you a condition, or I can take +1 forward. Is that right?
that's right.
I think I'm going to give him a condition.
What condition are you giving him?
I am trying to figure out what they are again.
Conditions are a verbal description that describes. So, sore thumb was an example of a condition. So, what does his behavior say that you would someone would point at him and say he is the following?
Foolhardy. It is foolhardy to run up to my house and make threats without knowing who is there with me or what's going on, I think.
You're not wrong.
So she's just threatening you and successfully shut you down. Hacksaw, what are you doing?
Yeah, yeah, and I say, look, Billy, we can do this right now, right here, or you can spend the rest of your days looking over your shoulder. What's it gonna be?
Billy, keep quiet.
She's right there. Show her that you can do the job, Billy.
I know perfectly well what Billy's capable of.
Yeah,
I don't know why you're still alive, but I intend to make sure it doesn't last long. Why don't you go do something enjoyable while you still can?
Okay, enjoyable. All right then. And I like walk around to the like what's Rose, what's the front of your house look like? What's all the gardening and whatever like how's it all laid out?
I think I focus more on the back because of the parties. I like to have a little more seclusion. So the front is just actually a modest lawn, a few flowers, little like stone walk up to the front. Very charming.
Cool. So I walk up and I take one of the whatever like the little bricks that's along the front walk or something like that, and I pick up two of them and I toss one to Adam, and I say something fun, huh? And just hurl one through a random window.
All right. That sounds good.
And I'm gonna just take out 3 or 4 windows, just yelling, "This is awful fun! I'm really enjoying myself" as I'm doing that.
I think you're overestimating the amount of windows I have, as I am a vampire and a Hollywood starlet who wants her privacy.
Whatever. If I need to chuck them through the top, that's fine too.
I'm just saying. I think I don't have like a house surrounded by windows to put bricks through, but that's fine. You can have a couple, like 2 or 3 tops. But all right. I'm going to call on Billy to lead the muscle segment of the rest of my clique, and to go out and beat the shit out of you again. We'll kill you as many times as we need to. But I want to clarify, if there's anyone with Hacksaw, they should just like take him or her or them prisoner and bring them in to see me in case I like them.
How's Adam? reacting?
Yeah, so I think Adam is ready to back Hacksaw up.
Does he throw any bricks, or does he look confused with the brick in his hand? What happened there?
I think he's probably not thrown the brick, but he is still holding it.
Okay, so Billy and about 5 other guys come running out. Billy's got his baseball bat. It's probably still got some of Hacksaw's blood on it. Others have got like knives and chains. They run at both of you. What do you do, Hacksaw?
I say I like first, I shuck that coat off. So I'm in like whatever, just like whatever pajama pants that they gave me at the morgue or something like that, and bare chested, and like when the coat comes off, then it's like there's probably literally like a tire track across my back, right? And like my ribs are compressed weirdly and everything. But like first guy that comes at me, I take the coat and I like snap it, wrap it around my arm, and like he comes at me with that knife and I just knock it aside, and I just with this feral howl, I just jump into them, and then, like, I assume it's a scrum, it's a melee, they're swinging chains and stuff, and I am like howling as I am punching, kicking, headbutting, like biting people, like not like on the neck, but like biting noses and stuff like this. And like it is, it's just.
Now, is this lashing out physically or turning someone on? Let's go for lash out physically.
A little from column A, a little from column B. All right, yeah, I'm gonna start by seeing if I can take mess up the gang here. So. Mm-hmm. 6 plus 2 gets me to 8. So on a 7 and 9, I harm them, but choose 1. You decide how bad the harm turns out.
It's 5 of my strongest men. I just wish to remind you.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so you hit Billy square in the face. His nose crunches under your fist. You drag a chain around the neck of another one, and then the overwhelming forces do sort of start pushing you out and beating you back. But yeah, it's just 1 point of harm, but he ain't as pretty as he used to be. How much of a kicking are you letting them give him, Rose?
Oh, I've already told them they can kill him again. I thought he was already dead.
Adam, what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm going to brain Billy over the back of the head with a brick. I'm going to say, stay the fuck away from my friend.
That's my boy.
I come out of the house.
That's a lash out physically from Adam first.
That's my boy.
That's true.
Oh, God.
That's an 8 in total.
So you get to hit them. Which of the 3 you choose one? I decide how bad the harm is. Would you like to well, it would be Pearl gathering or Rose gathering a string on you, or you become your darkest self.
Join me.
Yeah, it is very tempting. Yeah, Darkest Self feels very appropriate. I mean, I was tempted to go again as well for seeing how bad it turns out because
Do it, Adam.
Really fun.
Become
but
Wrath.
Darkest Self is very appropriate here.
And what is the Hollow's
So
darkest?
the Hollow's darkest self is your body is a prison. You don't belong inside of it. You need to put it in harm's way and make it suffer, just like it's made you suffer. There's got to be a way to cut yourself out of it. You need to meet your makers and hold them accountable for what they've done to you. To escape your darkest self, you must come to see how someone else feels more trapped than you do.
Oh, good. That
So,
helps.
as your darkest self has come out and you've got the brick in your hand and you've just brained him, is it one braining or are you dashing his brains out?
Oh, I mean, a little. I mean, yeah,
Your darkest self is out.
I definitely think he's going to like try and take him down.
Mhm.
He saw him murder his friend earlier. He has very little time for him.
Okay, so you smash him across the head. He goes down. Let's say your darkest self is out. Rose, did you say you're coming out of the house?
Oh, yes.
What is Rose doing?
She's brought her revolver, and she's going to, what is it? The violent one. Lash out physically and shoot Hacksaw in the face.
Okay.
I assume your gang is helping with this by holding.
Yeah. The gang is definitely helping.
And
We've already said they've effectively restrained Hacksaw. So,
and also at some point, the resources thing where we're very well connected, and I've called connections. At some point, I expect other people to show up as well. But
yeah.
I will roll with volatile, which I think I have a negative in, if I'm correct. -1, canceled out by rolling with the gang. And I got a 9. Oh. Yeah, flat roll, so 9. Is there anything I can do to bump that to a 10 or no? I don't think so, right?
You could, tag a condition. What was the other condition you gave? It's probably not.
She spent
Foolhardy.
She spent her string before, so
No, but was it a condition you had?
Oh, I've got shifty looking, sore thumb, and foolhardy.
I would be happy to tag foolhardy. It was very foolhardy. Everything he has done at this point is foolhardy, and that bumps my move up to a 10.
Okay, so on a 10,
and I'll spend that last string that I have on her to put it back to a 9.
All right.
You can't do that in Monsterhearts 2. That was only a Monsterhearts 1 thing.
Haha.
Oh, add 1. There you go. Add 1. There we go. Okay, cool.
So you deal the harm. He's already injured, and at pretty much point blank range, you shoot Hacksaw square between the eyes, and for the second time in 24 hours, Hacksaw dies. How does Adam react? Consider his darker self is already out, and Rose has just shot your friend, your love, your chauffeur, whatever he is. He's dead now, again.
Looks like his darkest self means he's supposed to put himself in harm's way and let himself suffer. Am I reading that correctly?
Yep, so I will charge Rose, grapple the gun from her, and attempt to shoot her with it.
That sounds like the opposite of attempting to take harm for yourself, but whatever.
I think you can see what he's trying to do, so you will get the drop on him if you want to shoot him. Wow.
I don't really want to shoot him because I like him, but if he's going to try, I will shoot him in the shoulder so that it would be harder for him to wrestle a gun away from me if he can't really use his arm. and shoulder to do so.
Okay, you're lashing out physically then.
Yeah. And I am going to assume that my gang is still helping.
Yeah.
Because why wouldn't they be? So that should be a flat roll again, I think. And that's a 9 again.
So you are you can choose as a 9. They learn something about you, your true nature, and get a string on you. I decide how bad the harm is, or you become your darkest self.
You with my darkest self. While we're all going for it, Oh no, I won't become my darkest self. My gang is being lovely. Okay. So I guess I'll let you decide how bad the harm turns out.
Well, I think you were trying to shoot him in the shoulder, but unfortunately, one of your gangs sort of shoves him and tackles him at the time, and the shot goes wild, shooting him straight hard in the chest.
Oops. That's unfortunate, but
Now, looking at the time, it feels like that could be a awesome cliffhanger to shut the session down on, if everyone's okay with that. Whilst Rudy's having a lovely cup of coffee and has put his feet up somewhere away from all of this damn chaos.
Oh, I'm pretty sure I was called by people.
Yeah, you were called by the gang. You'll turn up very much at the start of first session, the next session. I think that makes perfect sense. But then, and the next session, we're all pointed straight at each other because I really want to see characters on the end of the role play from this. If we're all okay with that, gang?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to all my connections showing up. I was wondering when having picked that for my gang was going to come in handy, rather than them being all violent or whatever. It's like connections. I like it.
We can see that, and undoubtedly some mafia. We can't kill him, but we can put him in concrete shoes.
Absolutely can. There are a lot of things you can do with someone who doesn't die.
Okay, let's close that down and let's do a rounds of stars and wishes, you monstrous psychopaths. I'm going to go as they appear on the screen to me as an order this evening, and I'm going to ask Jim to give me some stars to begin with.
Oh yeah, stars around the horn as always. David, thank you for leaning into Adam being for letting me be a bad influence on Adam. That was fantastic. The like you took up the brick just like I wanted. So that was that was perfect. That was really cool. And Ferret, I loved that we got to see the complexity of Rudy this evening. Like talking about like how he got booted by his family and his, and this life is maybe not the ideal life, but it's a better life than he would have had wherever it was he came from, which tells you just how bad the life he had where he came from would have been. And I really, I really enjoyed getting that little bit of kind of like flashback, the little bit of history going on there. So I really enjoyed that. Yeah.
Thank you very much, David. For Adam, what's your any stars this evening?
Yes, stars were around as ever. It was a good fun session. As again, star to Ferret for that scene with the two of us. That I really enjoyed that. So thank you for sort of playing off that. I thought you did that really well, and gave me a bit more chance to explore that side of Adam and to get a bit more out of Rudy as well, which is really nice. Jim, stars for Again, some brilliant moments throughout, but I just really like that little scene in the car on the way to the meeting with Ruby Chance. That was a really nice little scene. So thank you for that one. Pearl. It's nice to have a fun antagonist. So yeah, that was good.
I don't see how I am the antagonist in this situation, but I will take the compliment. Thank you.
It's comes with the territory of being the queen. It's and Dave, yeah, again, some really nice. I know it's the same thing I said last time, but again, I thought like the balance of like moving scenes on and letting the scenes breathe and stuff we did this session was really nice. They felt like they really flowed well from each other, I really enjoyed the scenes that I had with both Ruby Chance and Greenstock. Were both really good scenes. I really enjoyed both characters. So yeah, that was cool. It was also fun to see you playing Caroline's character. Caroline.
Yeah. Pearl?
Well,
Thomas?
I regret having not been in most of the session, but I was watching almost all of it. I took a bunch of notes. I echo the sentiments about Rudy being a complex character. I'm looking forward very much to interacting more. But yeah, really liking all the machinations and all of the delicious snarky comments to everybody. Just casually throwing shade all over the place. It's great. All of the scenes with the various agents, I would give stars to David and Jim and Dave, as this is how we're differentiating. I don't know. Those scenes were, I thought, very enjoyable. Star to Hacksaw for being so committed to his like gonzo character. It's really like impressive to watch that level of commitment. David, I like how the sort of innocent and gullible nature means that like turning into a point of like attacking someone with a brick or whatever else from being like the good boy that everyone's worried will never shed his squeaky clean image. And Dave is always really tight GMing, which I enjoy, which is why I sign up for like all the games. So great job, everyone. Sorry I had to miss so much.
And last but in no way least, the wonderful Ferret.
I'll do my first start to Pearl. You were not in much of the session, but you queened like a queen should queen. It's like, this is my gang. I am going to use them, and no one is going to fuck with me. They will fuck with my gang, but not get to me. Then I will fuck with them. Perfect. Like, I can just imagine her being luxurious all throughout this time while we've been running around sweating and getting dirty. Jim, I love to hate Hacksaw. And those are like the best. You are the Cersei of our game. It's just like not as complicated as Cersei, but perfectly like hateable and lovable. You want them to not succeed, but you kind of do, so you have a reason to go against them. And Adam, you brought out Rudy's sensitive side. I just figured it's like I'm gonna manipulate Adam. He's gonna be my tool. It's like, oh no, he has feelings like I do. Almost exactly like I do. I empathize with you. I can't hurt you, you sweet little innocent baby. Which is hard to do to a vampire. So kudos. And Dave, you allow me to set a good enough scene and then you just run with it. And I love how you've handled these characters, how it's like I felt so nervous with the cop there. It's like, what's he going to drop that he has on me? What is he? Oh, I was too much of a bitch. He's not going to let me know what he has on me. Oh, well, at least I was a bitch.
Awesome, thank you. And I come back myself for the same as everyone else has said. I just like, what the fuck is Hacksaw going to do now? is my present moment. I'm Adam's Dark Side coming out to be fun, right? But it's been really interesting watching him grow as a character. I did again for someone who was only in the game playing for 30 minutes. Pearl, what a damn entrance and exit, okay? And and Ferret, what I absolutely love about your playstyle is that you are painting into the backstory, the fact that already that Rudy has been part of all sorts of deals and bits and pieces. I love it when players do that. I think it's just fantastic. Just paint the narrative and say, yeah, I'm going to set up. I've already got a relationship with this character. Absolutely adore it. So thank you so much. Wishes. We'll go in reverse order that I just went around with. So Ferret, do you have any wishes for next time?
I wish my internet would not cut out, because like it was cutting out again at the end with Hacksaw going up against the gang and Rose coming out with it's like Rose comes out, I come out with a gun. Cut. No, I must know what will happen. And
I can't fix your internet, but I'll
yeah, and I just wish for this to get messier. I know it's already like we're mud wrestling, but I want to get the hair pulling, the screeching, and with Hacksaw in, either Rudy or Hacksaw is going to bite someone, and it's not going to be pretty. And I want to see us do that. We are basically now, well, Hacksaw's a pit bull, I'm a sweet terrier, and we are squaring off.
Also even Pearl, any wishes for next time?
I would like to see the connected side of my gang and what that looks like. And I also would like to see someone get bitten. And since I've just shot 2 PCs and I'm intending to make sure that they are fully tied up and possibly one of them is chopped into lots of pieces if necessary, since they're going to come back to life, all the pieces will be tied down too. But since you're going to come as part of my connected thing, both of us could have a snack. And I think it would be hilarious if we double snacked. So that is my hope for next session, is that we can have a bit of a feast downstairs with the actual antagonists of the game. I have been acting in self-defense. I'm not the antagonist, but everyone can say it if they want.
It's fine. You know, connected in 1940s LA definitely means the mob, so we'll have them to help as well. Dave?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what happens next time. Really, I don't think I have a specific wish.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think see what happens. Yeah,
Jim.
I would actually X-card my character getting cannibalized.
That's fair enough.
Like totally cool if it's like we want to set up a scene and it's about to happen and that's when the cops show up or something like that. But
Yeah.
that's just the idea of my actually getting cut up and eaten by other characters makes me uncomfortable enough that I would like to draw the line at that point.
Okay.
Yeah, like I can't imagine that like Billy's going to be okay with this. And because when I come back, it's inevitable. Like he'll have blown it twice. He'll have failed to kill me twice, and just the like I said, the kind of ratcheting up of, you know, like I ran him over, it didn't work. We shot him and ran him over, it didn't work, and so that I'm looking forward to the further escalation there of what's going on. And we've kind of had the mob sort of circling around, and we've sort of bounced off of them a couple of times, but to have them really get their hands dirty is something that I'm looking forward to as well.
Cool, that's fine. I think I have one wish, because I would like to see Adam's dark side a bit more. We've let that out, and I don't think Adam's dark side will probably be darker self will probably be a nice thing, but I'm looking forward to seeing how Adam and or leashes that. Okay, any closing remarks? Anything else wants to go over? Are we all okay?
Just throwing my hat in. I'm fine with you posting this up. So, Thank
you very much. Okay, if we're all good with that, I will post it shortly. And thank you very much, folks. That went nowhere near where I expected to this evening, but maybe that's the joy of running Monster Hearts. And I'll look forward to playing with you next week.
Yeah, cheers. See you all later.
Night, folks. Bye.
Good night.